Okay,
So now it's recording. Beautiful.
recording. Excellent.
All right. Thank you, Carissa.
Okay. Okay. So can everybody see? You want to see the slide? The slide?
Looks good to me, so everybody should be able to see it.
All right. So welcome everybody to our virtual open house. Thank you all for taking the time this afternoon to come out here. I usually do this in person, but times being what they are, we've switched to the virtual version. But I'm going to give the same presentation that I would if we were together in the same room, which we hopefully all will be pretty soon. So I'll get started, and again, just let Neil know if you have any questions along the way. So let me, there we go. So introduce myself first. My name is Dr. Emil Steiner. I am the coordinator of our sports communication and media program here at Rowan University. A bit about me, I'm from Philadelphia, originally Philadelphia area, grew up here, went to college here. I worked as a reporter for a number of years after college. Down in DC at the Washington Post, and covered a lot of different topics, but a lot of sports too. I eventually was NFL editor for our online coverage. After that, went back to grad school, and a couple of years ago came to Rowan as a professor as we got started with our sports communication and media program in 2018. So I've been here since, and next we have Neil Hartman. Introduce himself too.
Yeah, so I'm the director of the Center for Sports Communication and Social Impact. I joined Rowan University in August, and what a great time to join Rowan. We're a growing program, and we'll get into the numbers about how many students we have and all the programs and the options that we're going to present to you. A little bit about my background. I was a sportscaster for 35 years, close to 30 years in Philadelphia, for almost 20 years at Comcast Sportsnet, now NBC Sports Philadelphia. And kind of worked around in television around the country, but Philadelphia has been my home. My main job as the director of the center is to really mentor students, help them with internships, their career plan. I see that Emil has career czar. I guess you could call him a career czar, but I work all the time with helping students procure internships and help them with career advice. So we have a great group of students that are really ambitious, going out there, getting some great internships, which we'll talk about a little later on here in the session.
And because it is the 18th anniversary, or yesterday was, I should mention that Neil Hartman is the intrepid reporter who asked Allen Iverson the question about practice that led to his famous rant about practice. Little hat tip to Neil. Our sports communication and media program. I'm happy to say that we are the fastest growing major at Rowan University. We started a little less than 2 years ago with no majors, and now we are around 200 with our incoming class. We also have 30 minors, so we are growing and growing, and it sort of speaks to the excitement around this program. Some stuff about us that makes us unique. We're the only sports communication and media program in New Jersey. There's some other sports communication programs and sports journalism programs, but none are this sort of comprehensive sports communication and media degree that we offer. We're also very professionally focused. And that's something you're going to hear me talk a lot about today, that Neil's also going to talk a lot about today too. We really have a focus on finding your career path within this area. We're also highly personalized. So depending on your interest area, you can go to any of our different 4 concentrations. And also we have a lot of opportunities for double majoring, as I mentioned before. Our classes, because we're between the 4 departments of journalism, public relations, advertising, communication studies, and radio, television, and film, we have a lot of overlap with all these different departments. And so a lot of our students are double majors. And for a couple extra classes, you end up with 2 degrees basically for the price of 1. So as I mentioned, we are very personalizable. Students kind of choose their path depending on where their interests lie, what skill sets they bring, and really what they're passionate about. So for instance, if you're the kind of person who is interested maybe more in the business side of sports, being in a front office, running branding campaigns, being an agent, students like that typically take the sports public relations and advertising concentration. If you're interested more in reporting on sports, covering sports, being an analyst, being play-by-play, those students often take our sports journalism concentration path. If you're more interested in being behind the scenes, being behind the camera, being in the studio, all the technical side of editing and sound, light, everything like that, those students typically take our radio, TV, and sports production path. And if you're interested in sort of issues of theory about sports, about issues of gender, race, politics, economics, those students are typically taking our comm studies sports concentration. So like I said, we're very comprehensive, and we have lots of possibilities for all different interests within the field of sports communication and media. Indeed, we are growing still. I'm happy to announce that this fall, actually, we are going to be, under our sports communication and media program, we are starting to offer our Esports Certificate program in esports industry and entertainment experience. Are anybody here, any of you guys gamers at all? Any esports fanatics? I guess I can't hear you, but I know a lot of students. Anybody pinging you?
No, but I was going to recommend that if anything, when you ask rhetorically a question, if they want to respond via the chat, I can certainly chime in and let you know about it.
Yeah. Well, it's something we're really excited about, and it's obviously a growing area, and it's right now some of the only live sports that are actually being played are esports. So we're excited to be on the cutting edge, along with the business school, in our collaboration for esports. Again, I talked a bit about the classes, and these are the requirements for the major. I won't go into too much depth about all of them. You can find out more information on our site. And I'm happy to take questions if you have specific questions about classes. But just to give you a heads up, it's a 39 credit major. You need about 120 to graduate from Rowan. So the rest of those, somebody do the math real quick. I guess that'd be 81. The rest of those 81 credits, if I'm wrong, forgive me, I was not a math major. The rest of those credits are sort of your free electives, and there's some suggestions of great classes you can take, including Professor Hartman over here's History of Sports in Philadelphia, which is a fantastic class to talk about. But these are our list of the requirements for the major. The one thing to take a look at, if you see under the core requirements on the right side here, is the internship, which segues nicely into Neil Hartman, who runs our center and is also in charge of our internship program. So Neil, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, so you mentioned the history of sport in Philadelphia. I teach that class. I did teach for 2 years at Temple University before coming to Rowan, and I started that class at Temple. It was very well received, so I said, all right, let's bring it here to Rowan, and again, very well received. We're actually looking to see if we can expand it, but we'll see with this whole social distancing if we'll be able to do it in the fall or if not in the spring. But I had 21 students. We kind of capped it at 20, and we went to 21 students, and we're hoping to go far beyond that in future semesters. So it's a great class. There's people that come in that have actually lived from, you know about the Flyers. I heard one Flyer fan that mentioned earlier. Lee, you said you were a Flyer fan. We go back to the Broad Street Bullies and actually bring a Broad Street Bully into class. Merrill Reese, the broadcaster for the Philadelphia Eagles for 43 years, came into class. We've had we base it on the book of Ray Dittinger, who's a very well-known historian about Eagles football and an analyst on Eagles football. He comes into class, and we actually use his Eagles encyclopedia as our required text. So it's a great class, and it's available to freshmen right away. So that's one of the beauties of that class, is that it's available right away to freshmen, because sometimes you have to take care of some of your core curriculum, and you want to make sure that you can get involved in the sports camp program as quick as possible. And so we offer this particular class right away. So I have anywhere from seniors to freshmen in the class, and it works out great. So that's on the academic side. As far as some of the things we do in the center, We have an event, and we'll go through them specifically one by one. Pizza with the Pros is one event that we are very proud of. It started by, I believe it's the next slide. If you want to go to the next slide, or I believe that's the next one. There you go. It's a program that we do every Monday night during the semester. We do about 12 to 13 of them during the course of the semester. It was started by Dr. John Giannini, who is now the athletic director at Rowan. And John was in the program for a year, got it started, and then I came on board, and he was the one that came up with the concept of Pizza with the Pros. And I was actually a speaker long before I even joined the university. So it's just a great opportunity to hear from industry professionals and to network. And that's what we want our students to be able to network with people that are out there working the industry and having very successful careers. And I know we have some people from North Jersey, we have some people from South Jersey, and I really work hard at bringing guest speakers from all over the state and all over the region, frankly, to come and speak to our students, from NBC Sports Network in Stamford, Connecticut, to the coordinating producer for Major League Baseball Network and NHL Network in North Jersey, to people from the Phillies and the Eagles and the Flyers, and they come from Philadelphia, and they speak to our students as well. This actual picture that you're seeing here is with Dave Spadaro, who's the Eagles insider for the Philadelphia Eagles. We get anywhere from 35 to 60 students that come. And again, it's free pizza, and they just come and hear the speakers and then really take advantage of talking to them afterwards. And it's led to a lot of internship opportunities for our students, which is really wonderful as well. So again, that's Monday nights at 6 o'clock during the course of the semester. But one of the other aspects of my job is to bring prominent speakers to campus. And in the fall, we had in October, Charles Barkley. I don't know if you're going to get a much bigger name than Charles Barkley to come speak to our students, but Charles spent about 7 hours on campus. Well, probably about 5 or 6 hours on campus, I guess it was. And he met with students individually. He had a party with many people afterwards. And after he spoke for about an hour and a half to students, about 700 students attended his evening with Charles Barkley. The year before that, we had George Raveling, who's a prominent basketball coach, who also has some great history to his story. And in fact, he has the I Have a Dream speech of Martin Luther King. He has the actual original copy because he was working that event when Martin Luther King spoke on that speech. So great story in that regard. So my job is to bring prominent speakers to campus as well that will hopefully entertain, but also educate and stimulate the students that attend the events. So that's our speaker series that we do. Probably one per semester is what we strive for. Internships and careers, it's a huge part of my job. You see one of the pictures there on the slide that the Ncaa Inclusion Forum, Dr. Yannick Kluk, who is our academic advisor to the center, is involved in the social impact aspect of sport, and he worked for the NCAA, so he brought students to the Ncaa Inclusion Forum, which, as you can see there, a handful of our students attended. We have internships all over the region, from New York. Well, we had a student with Major League Baseball at Park Avenue in New York, to anywhere to Delaware, where we had students interns with the Wilmington Blue Rocks rather, for basketball. And then we have students obviously in Philadelphia and around here in South Jersey. But that particular one, you see Sports Radio WIP. We have students there interning at Madison Square Garden. And then we have a student there that student right there, we interned at ESPN Radio, and now we're really proud to say he's the afternoon drive host. That picture is about a year ago, and now he really impressed them so much he got offered just about a week ago the drive time opportunity to be a sports talk show host in Atlantic City. So we're really proud of Hunter right there in that picture. So what I do is we provide students with all the internships that we're aware of, and we have a list of some 70 or so that we provide a whole spreadsheet to our students that they take a look and see what would interest them. And then I help them. If I have to make a phone call, if I say, okay, well, maybe you want to go in this direction instead of that direction. But you see there just some of the internships that our students have had, whether it's a TV station, NFL Films. We're really proud of NFL Films. Two students pretty much in recent years, 2 students per semester that have gotten internships at NFL Films. And that's a national internship. It's really hard to get one. They get about 20 to 25 students per semester. And fortunately, the internship coordinator is a Rowan graduate. So it really helps us there. And we get some really good students there. Jordan right there just got recognized by our sports cam program for being for excellence in sports cam. We're really proud of Jordan. She interned at NFL Films. A little story about Jordan. She applied 7 times and finally got it. So she's a go-getter. We're really proud of her. But you see there some of our students that also get opportunities to work games. So far beyond what you do in the classroom and it's really how you take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you. And our students have chances to do games all over campus, whether it's for RTN, which is Rowan Television Network, or for Rowan Athletics, which also streams games. So our students take full advantage of doing that, whether it's play-by-play, behind the scenes, working the cameras, all these different opportunities that are presented to our students. So it's really what you make of whatever opportunities there, you make the most of it. And that's what we try to really present to students here at Rowan. So it's a great sports cam experience. You see there our students, we attended a Phillies College Summit where our students met face-to-face with every different department of the Phillies organization. There were about 120 college students that attended this summit. We had about 15, and we were the strongest, the biggest group of students from any area college that attended the summit. And we got a nice picture with the Philly fanatic. One of our students interviewing one of the coaches during a broadcast, and that's Merrill Reese, who actually spoke to some of our students at a Pizza with the Pros a year ago. So great opportunities on campus. It's a great sports cam experience. I'm there to help students. We have, as we showed you in the slide earlier, over 200 students in the program. I've met with 115 of them face-to-face. So I get to know the students. I know what your interests are, I know what you want to do, so that when I'm communicating with students now via email or on phone or Zoom or WebEx, whatever it might be, we're talking about how we can better your career. So that's my role. That's what I do. And those are some of the things that we have to offer within the Sports Cam program.
Thanks, Neil. I would just I just like to add to that too. Neil touched on some of the classes that you take have requirements before you can get started. But I encourage students from the first day that you set foot on campus that you find a way to get involved with campus organizations so you can be doing sports cam work and building your resume. And we have a lot of great opportunities for that. Day one, if you're interested in journalism, if you're interested in being a sports journalist, we have a great student newspaper called The Wit. There's the Wit Online is how you can find it online. And we have about 17 sports teams. All of them need beat reporters. All of them need columnists. All of them need somebody to do their stats and analytics. All of them could use somebody who's going to maybe do analysis of how they're playing. Think about that. If you do the number of over 17 teams, we do not have enough students to do all that writing, but we have teams that need it. So I encourage you, if you want to be a sports journalist, don't wait to take my sports journalism class. Don't wait till your sophomore year when you're taking Phil Anastasia's Sports Journalism 1, or maybe your junior year when you're taking my Sports Journalism 2. Day one, you're on campus, go over to the WIT, introduce yourself. They're a friendly bunch. Tell them you're interested in covering sports. They'll credential you up. They'll get you out there, and you will be doing sports reporting. Not just learning about it in classroom, but actually doing it. If you want to be on the radio, if you want to do podcasts, we have an award-winning radio station, 89.7 WGLS. It broadcasts all the way to Philadelphia. You can hear it over, I live in Philly, you can hear it, crossing over the bridges. So I would strongly encourage you, if you want to do radio, go over there. They will train you if you don't know how to use the stuff yet. If you do, they'll get you going, and you can have your own radio show if that's what you want to do. They have the facilities, they have the equipment, and you just have to bring great ideas and they'll help them come to life. If you want to be on TV or if you want to be producing, go to our student television channel, RTN5. The studios are right on campus. You go over there, introduce yourself, tell them what you want to do. If you need training, they'll give you training. If you want to be on air, they'll tell you how to get on air. You'll be able to pitch your ideas. We have, it's broadcast 24 hours a day. They need content to fill it. You want to have a show that talks about sports, pitch it to them, and they'll help you make that come alive. So again, this is a very practical degree program, but it's also on you to start building your credentials up. So by the time you come sophomore year, junior year, and you sit down with Professor Hartman, with Neil Hartman here, and talk about your internship. If you want to get an internship, let's say at NFL Films, well, starting your freshman year, you should be at RTN. You should be already working and learning how to cut film. You should already be learning how to design. You should be learning all of those skills here on campus. Those opportunities are there for you. And they're the stepping stones for you when you make that next step to the internship and then to your career. So again, there are so many opportunities here on campus, and everybody really is here to help you out, here to help you and train you and get you moving toward your dreams. So
let me just chime in. You mentioned the students at RTN. So in the last two groups of students that got internships at NFL Films, one was the station manager of RTN, and the other one was an executive producer of RTN, and another one has applied. I'm not sure what happened here for the summer, but was another executive producer of sports for RTN. So they're in leadership roles on campus, utilizing their experience on campus. It's appreciated and respected by, again, the Rowan person who is now the coordinator of internships. She knows what it takes to have those people obtain those responsibility positions at RTN, and she recognizes that, and that's a big factor, I think, helping those students get those internships, and then they excel beyond. A lot of those students, and at a lot of our internships, those internships lead to something. If you're doing it in the spring, sometimes they get opportunities to work in the summer. For, you know, and these, like NFL Films, is a paying internship. NBC Sports Philadelphia, we had two students there this past semester, paying internships. So these are great opportunities for students, and it's because of the reputation that we're building at Rowan that are allowing our students to get these jobs, and then they're helping our other students, guys like you who are hoping to come into Rowan. It's helping you guys because now they go, oh, Rowan student, yeah, we've had great experience. And I receive letters from all the supervisors at these internships. They provide me with evaluations of our students. And they all say, boy, do you have more students like this one? This student was just outstanding. Do you have any more like that? I go, yeah, we got plenty of them. So it really helps all our students when we excel at any of these locations for internships. Two things. We've got a couple students I want you to recognize that came on board, Emil. And also there was a question about if you finish the 120 credits early, do you get to graduate early? Can you answer that question? And then maybe you want to greet the two students that have joined us.
So in terms of 120 credits, yeah, if once you fulfilled all the requirements of our major and you've completed all the university requirements, you can graduate. Typically, it's a four-year process, but certainly students can graduate early. Some take longer, some take less. Yeah, as long as you fulfilled all the requirements. Yeah. And then you said there were two students that just.
So Gina and Eric have joined us. If you want to greet those guys and find out a little bit about them.
Hi, Gina and Eric. Let me see if I can unmute you. All right, let's see. So just to Gina and Eric, what we've been doing is everybody just basically said your name, where you're from, what year you are right now, and your favorite sports team. So we'll start with Gina. I'll unmute you. Some very young students. Who,
Can you hear us? All right, she's got her hands full right there. Right?
We'll come back.
Check out Eric.
Sorry about that. Okay, Eric, are you there?
Oh. Hello?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
How you doing?
Good. How are you? I'm sitting next to my mom because she wanted to watch.
Fantastic. So Eric, why don't you introduce yourself to us?
Well, my name's Eric Levine. I am finishing up my general education degree at a community college and transferring next semester to the School of Sports Communication and Media. I'm very big in baseball, football, and the world of MMA. And I've been really excited. I wanted to come down a couple of times to talk to the school, but obviously that can't happen. And I'm just really excited. I've been talking to roommates and everything to try and figure out how to get ready.
Well, that's really exciting. Can you say again where you were from, Eric? I didn't catch it.
I'm from Teaneck, New Jersey.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, I really do look forward to meeting you in the fall. And depending on how things go, if things start opening up a little bit over the summer, we can definitely try to set up a visit. And that goes for everybody.
Yeah, I came down to the open house and got to meet you when
Oh,
it was at the open house, and I got to actually like listen in with a couple other students. So it was cool.
fantastic, fantastic. Well, hopefully we'll all be meeting together soon without these the Zoom talks. But if we have to do it, we are prepared for it.
Thank you.
All right, Eric. Thanks. Should I try Gina again?
Let's see how she's doing.
Gina, are you with us? Gina?
I think she's got her hands full, but I'm glad that she's joined us.
Feel free to just let Neil know if you want to jump in, and we'll give you a chance to talk to. All right, so I will just I'll just I guess wrap this up by by saying that probably we have great faculty, we have great resources here. But for me, at least, what I think really separates Rowan from a lot of other programs, even a lot of other programs within the university, and what makes sports camp special, I think, is our students. Like Neil said, we have over 200, and each one of them, I can tell you, is passionate about sports, as I hope you are too. And they're also incredibly friendly. I mean, think about it. You get to study sports communication and media. You get to study something that you love. Of course, you're going to be happy. It's one thing if you're forced to read philosophy, and don't get me wrong, philosophy and economics are all great subjects and they're worth learning about. But I find that when students are passionate about what they're studying, they tend to do better. And they also are just really attentive and excited to come to class, excited to do the assignments, because they get to read and write, learn about sports. So I would encourage anyone if you would like to talk to any of our students, shoot me an email or let Neil an email. We can give you our contact info too. I'm Steiner@rowan.edu, so STEINER @rowan.edu, and I'll be happy to connect you with one of our wonderful students who can tell you, better than I can about the actual student experience. But like I said, they really make it a pleasure to be a teacher. And I hope that all of you can join them either in this fall or in the years to come.
And well, let me jump in, because if you have any questions, just put them on the chat, or we're going to probably open up everyone's mic in a moment here, where if you have a question, just feel free to chime in. Go back to that slide for a moment, NML, because I just want to share something. As you look on this slide, just to give you a sense, and obviously these are the students that met with Charles Barkley before his gathering with 700 students. But going from right to left, as we look at the screen, the gentleman in the red shirt was a play-by-play announcer, and still out there, worked for Baller TV since graduating. We have, I look at a couple other students. I see one that interned was scheduled to intern with the Trenton Thunder, another one that interned with the Philadelphia Union, another one with Hoop Group, which is a large AAU basketball organization. There's Jordan there with next to Mr. Barkley, who I mentioned earlier, with NFL Films, and Rebecca had an internship with a baseball program, a team as well. I'm not sure which team, I can't remember right now. In the red shirt, going again on the left side, he had an internship with 97.5 Sports Radio in Philadelphia. Behind him, he's got an internship right now this summer with through my center that's going to be involved with doing a project for the Ncaa. Because right now we have to create a program, because internships right now, because businesses, teams, games aren't playing, no one knows anything. So we put a program together where we worked with the Ncaa to set up a project that our students are going to work remotely through our center, but our client is the Ncaa, and he's going to be working on that. One of the gentlemen there was one of my interns this past year, was outstanding, a senior. And then another one, the far left, had an internship with the National Lacrosse League, and also was the editor of The Wit, so the sports editor. So just to kind of give you a feel for some of the students, what they're doing, how they're getting involved on campus, and you look at the diversity and the difference of interest that these students have. on there. Maybe one or two have interest in going on air. It's mainly not on air. It's so many more different parts of whether, as Emma mentioned before, whether you want to go into team management, or you want to work in production, or you want to be a beat writer for a website or something like that. A lot of our students are now getting internships with websites where they're actually covering games, but they're covering them for a website. They're not covering them for a newspaper the way my generation would cover them. So there's a lot of different options out there. Parents ask all the time, what jobs are there going to be out there for students who get this the degree? And I'd say there's tons of jobs. It's just different than what your parents, or if a parent is listening, than what we were accustomed to when we grew up. We don't have newspapers the way we do, but their newspapers are there. They're just delivering the content in different ways. And there's so many more websites that the students are very familiar with, that they probably enjoy going and seeing the contents that's available on all these different websites. And so our students are now finding jobs, whether it's writing or working for these organizations. And that's something that we provide them a list of where these internships and the opportunities that are out there. So again, I'm happy to answer any questions. My email is Hartman, Hartman, with an additional N, hartmann@rowan.edu. Happy to answer any questions directly. We have had our share of students that have reached out to us asking if they can participate when we were in school in session. I had a student actually join. I believe, was it Dan? I believe Dan might have been the one that was it Dan that joined my class. So we had a student that joined my class, and then we've had others that we've put in touch with students. They wanted to ask them questions about their experience with the sports cam. So we've done that. So we're really willing to help in any way we can to try to make sure that you understand what we have going here. We're really, really proud of what we're doing. And this is our second session when we've had students come on board, and a really great opportunity for us to meet you guys as well.
Yeah, I would just like to add, Neil does a great job of, connecting you to careers and to internships. He's fantastic like that. But I'll also add, for parents who are on the call too, not everybody who is going to graduate from this program necessarily is going to end up in sports communication or media. Jordan, for instance, right in the middle there, was at NFL Films. She wants to be an agent. She's going to law school in the fall. So, there are a lot of different paths. But the great thing about this program is, no matter what, when you graduate, you have gotten the training from a liberal arts education that is going to take you to wherever you go next. And the great thing about it, like I said before, is students are actually doing the work in my classes because they are so passionate about what they're studying. So it's a great degree program, even if you decide you don't want to be in sports communication and media, which is totally fine too. With that said, I'm happy to open the floor up to any questions. I can jump out of this share screen and unmute, and then, or you can, if you feel more comfortable, you can just type your questions for Neil, and I can answer them, or he can, depending on where they go. Let's see, stop sharing screen. Okay. All right.
They did ask how will they be able to access this recording? How do you want to share that, Emil, so that the students have an opportunity to be able.
So, Michael, so yeah, to that question, Michael, I hope people can still hear me. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to type it as well, but we'll have the link for the video sent out so that you'll be able to watch it later. So I'm going to just type that in case you can't hear me. It'll be sent. Okay. I guess I am not connected. Oh, Michael, you can't hear me? Okay. All right. As a transfer junior, am I a little late for internships? I start mine, let me just check one thing. So that is Eric. Let's see. Eric, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. See, I can't see Neil, so I wasn't sure if I was the one who'd been disconnected or.
I think he was.
Okay, all right, good. So hopefully then everybody can hear me. Great. So your question is, as a transfer junior, I'm a little late to internships. If I start my second semester at Rowan, do you think that will be okay timing? I would say absolutely, Eric. How it works is you can actually, we have, not all of our internships are off campus. In fact, we have internships through our athletic department that are right on campus, and you can take up to 3 internships. So you could take one on campus your first semester if you meet the the credit criteria. So if you're transferring in as a junior, you could probably get started with an internship if you wanted right off the bat. So again, John Giannini, who's our athletic director, he has 17 or so teams. They all need interns. They all need people who can do their stats, who can do their press, who can cover games for them. So there are a lot of internships opportunity to get started right when you get here, and then after that, you can then get one off campus through Neil. Looks like Neil dropped out, which is too bad. All right, so I'm going to keep reading down here. Can you start taking elective courses? Let me just see here. Lee?
Yeah.
Hi, okay, great. So you can hear me too. So you asked, can you start taking the elective courses for the sports cam major?
Yeah, he had said the Philly sports history one that can be like a freshman course. So I wanted to know when the earliest you could, like, say the radio, TV, film, start with like those courses.
Okay, so Lee, are you coming in as a true freshman?
Yes.
Okay, so you can sign up for Professor Hartman's class your first fall. Typically the first 2 semesters you're at Rowan, you're going to be fulfilling the university-wide general requirements, and everybody at the university takes these classes. Everyone has to take, a math class. Everyone has to take a science class. Everyone has to take a history class. Everyone takes public speaking. And it doesn't matter your major. I mean, you could be an accounting major, you could be an engineering major, nursing, whatever you are. All people who graduate Rowan University have to take these classes. But you have a little bit of wiggle room in the first couple semesters too. So yes, to answer your question, no requirements. You could take my contemporary issues in sports class first semester here, no requirements for that. So those 2 courses are available to you right away. In terms of radio, TV, film, what was your question about that?
I was just using that as an example. Like, if I don't know if like those classes you had to wait to get enough credits or whatever.
I got you. Yeah. So the intro. So we have the core classes that all of our majors take, and one of them is called Aesthetics, Light, and Sound, which is basically your overview of radio, TV, and film. You can take that one your freshman year. It doesn't have any requirements. A lot of the more sort of concentration classes, like my sports journalism classes, like social media and sports, fan relations, branding, sports broadcasting, those have some requirements. But again, you can usually start taking those by your second semester or by your first semester of your sophomore year. But like I said, there are at least 3 classes in the major that you can take right off the bat. The Neil Hartman's history of sports in Philadelphia, my contemporary issues in sports, and then the radio, TV, film class, the intro one.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Arias, you had a question about the meeting ending in about 5 minutes? Arias? Oh, as we discussed earlier, I wanted to find out if it's worth getting my associates. Right, Ashley. Okay. At CCC or with that. So Ashley, yeah, I believe, did I put you in touch with our? I think I put you in touch with our advisors, our Rowan, our sports cam advising team. But I can tell you that credits do transfer, and the exact number and how that works in terms of the best strategy. Our advisors can walk you through that process because they do. That's what they do. I mean, all day they think about credits, credit transfer, scheduling, and they're experts in that. But yes, credits will transfer. Did my email get through to you about connecting you with the advisors?
I'm checking right now. I know we discussed it, but I don't know if I had like a
If I
preference.
send it, I will definitely send as soon as this meeting's over. I'll send you over.
Okay.
And you'd be coming in as a sophomore if you transfer.
I have like I have like 45 credits because I changed my major.
Yeah, then you would be okay. So it would be Alicia Grotman would be your advisor. She's for sports cam majors, 45 and credits and more. So I'll connect you right after this meeting if I have.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, good question. And that goes credits do transfer, but it's one of those things where they fulfill certain things at one school, fulfill different thing at another school. But we definitely do accept transfer credits. Okay. Look through. Okay, so what minors? So this is from Artie. What minors are there for behind the scenes you were talking about? So Artie, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi there. So can you elaborate on that a little bit more? What minors are there? What do you mean, like
Behind the screen, like the computer thing you were talking about earlier.
so like minors in turn, like doing a minor in a particular subject, or are you talking about the concentrations?
Anything.
Okay, so how it works is when you're a sports cam major, right? That's what you're getting a degree in. You pick your concentration. So everybody does general course requirements, and then you pick your concentration. So behind the scenes stuff, that would be radio, TV, film, and sports concentration. So it's sports production. You learn how to do sports broadcasting. You know how to set up live events. You learn how to do audio editing, all the software that's involved in that. So those classes, yeah, and it's called the sports production concentration. Is that what you were asking about?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and we have a great group of sports production people who handle that. They including Chris Winkler, who directs the Phillies games. They're all working professionals. They know the business inside and out. Great question.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Artie. Okay, Eric, is there a study abroad program? Yes, actually, there is one in the works right now. It's major, Eric. It's going to be I believe it's for next summer. It's going to start up, and it's going to be. I believe the plan is to have it in Europe, and it's going to be in Germany, Holland, and Belgium. It might not be Belgium, but definitely Holland and Germany are there. It's run by Dr. Yannick Kuch, who's also a professor in our program, and he is actually from Germany, so he's going to be leading students there. And I believe you take his sports, global issues in sports, and you're over there, and you're going to be going to soccer games, and you're going to be meeting a lot of great people. And I believe he said it was about a few-week-long program. So yes, there is a study abroad program that we're trying to get started for next summer. So you will hopefully be here in time for that.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, so
In Poland?
pardon me?
Belgium, Germany, and Poland. Oh,
I'm not sure if Poland was in there. I do know Germany and I do know Holland. So Amsterdam. Not Amsterdam. Yeah, Amsterdam's the capital.
awesome. So that's awesome.
Pardon me?
No, I'm just saying that's really cool. I'm excited because I couldn't find one for this program and I was looking online.
Yeah, we're just getting it started, in fact. So yeah, we're really excited about that. I'm hoping that I can go. I don't think I'm going to be able to go the first year, but I have got my name in for, I guess it would be summer 22. So I would definitely, because such a great opportunity to go over there, visit, and to meet people in sports communication media over there. I mean, you know how big soccer is in Europe. I mean, it's like that is their sport. Most of the rest of the world. So and Yannick, Yannick, he knows everybody in the business. All right, let me see. If I didn't get to your question, I wanted to make sure when we start to transfer, yes, it'll be accessible, 120 credits. Okay. Is there any study abroad? So are there, I think I answered all of them. If I have not answered your question though, please feel free to just type it in there. It's hard for me to see on the side screen without Professor Hartman here to help me go through the questions. So if I didn't get to your question, or if you have other questions, if I left anything out you'd like to know about, I'm here, and I'm happy to take them. If not, you know, I'll give you my my email address. I'll type it into here again. Let me see if I can do that. My Q&A. Okay. Let me see if I can send this. It's steiner@rowan.edu. Oh, it looks like Neil. Professor Hartman, are you back?
I am back. Wait.
All right. We are just wrapping up, but if again, my email is steiner@rowan.edu. Professor Hartman is Hartman, Hartman, then the letter N, Hartman N, rowan.edu. Again, we will be sending out video of the video recording of this session too. But if you have questions or want to just email me to set up time to chat with one of our current students, I'm happy to coordinate that. And like I said, it's really a pleasure to talk to you all remotely, and I look forward to hopefully meeting you in person starting this fall or in the years ahead. So thank you so much, and I appreciate you all being here.
You hear me?
I can hear you. I'm trying to type response to these students again, but for some reason it's not letting me send a type message through. But thank you to everyone who's saying thank you. You're welcome. Did it drop off for you?
Yeah, my daughter's in the middle of taking an exam. She comes running down. She goes, Dad, we have no Wi-Fi. I go, no kidding. So she was in a panic. So I had to reboot the router.
Was she doing through like a Blackboard, kind of like a?
Yeah, I forget what she's in Maryland, so I forget what they use. But get all the students, get all their answers, get everything you needed.
Yeah, they actually some really good questions. Eric was asking about the study abroad program that I told him what about Yannick is starting up, you know, for next summer. But yeah, no, I think everyone had really good questions. So let's see, I can stop recording now. When you record the